and welcome to my studio. Today we're going to be working on a fall sign, and I pre-assembled one in front of me, but I also have a door hanger sign hanging behind me, so you can do it that way as well and hang it on your front door. It's really long and would look really pretty on a nice doorway. The other one I'm going to do on a stick. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. First thing we're going to start out is with some wood slices, and we have these available at the miriamjoy.com site in case you don't have any accessible. You just want to make sure they're sliced thin and that they're nice and dry. And then I'm going to take orange paint. I'm going to add a little bit of water to it, and we're going to come in and just make this orange. And they're supposed to resemble pumpkins, so they're kind of our fall pumpkin sign. And if you can sand them really well, that's a good thing to do. If you're not able to sand them really well, put this orange paint on, let it dry really well, and then varnish it. The reason being is you do not want your wax to absorb in and not be able to pull that stroke. So that is real important to know. And then I took my white charcoal pencil and I made the fall lettering. If you have problems with the lettering, send me an email and I'll send that over to you to make that a little bit easier. It's just really simple, just 2 lines on each lettering. But after we do that, we're going to start with the outside of our pumpkins first. And I'm going to use red-orange. And I'm using my wax design tool number 1, and I'm going to come in along the edge and just kind of outline the pumpkin. If you're not familiar with the wax design technique, please jump over to miriamjoy.com. The YouTube link and the first video up is how to do the wax technique. Instead of going into 20 minutes of showing you how to do it, we just keep that one up there for you to learn. Now, we don't want to come back into our lettering, but we want to pull sections of our pumpkin up and around the different sides. And if you want to just jump through that little lettering right there, go ahead and do that. And kind of maybe 3 little strokes. And so we have that made to make it look more round. And then we're going to go to our black lettering. And the first one, let's see if I can do this upside down for you. The first one we are going to pull up. And so this bottom one we are going to pull up as well. So the ones next to it go the opposite direction. So this one is going to go down, and this one is going to go down. And we're going to bring this one across. So we're going to bring this other one across. And then we're going to bring the opposite direction and the opposite direction. And then I went ahead and I added some dots just for a little bit more design on each one of those. So we've got our F-A-L-L. And once we put our lettering on, we're going to come in and we're going to use our texture brush. And this is with crayon. And I don't want to get it on my black. But what we're doing is kind of giving our pumpkin a little bit of a crisp fall feel, and we used dandelion, a little bit of dandelion crayon, a little bit of brown crayon. And we're just going to give it that real crisp feel. Okay, and then I would go ahead, now that we're completely done with it, and I'm going to put 2 layers of my 3D crystal lacquer on it, and let it dry really good in between each one of those. and go back and do it one more or maybe two more times to give it a real good heavy seal so it can be something that's protected really well that you can have for years to come. Now we're going to go ahead and work on our stem and our leaves. And our stem is just paper twist, or if you're a gourd person and you coil, you can use some of that. And I unwrapped the bottom, but I didn't unwrap the top. And then just kind of twist it back just a little bit. And then we're going to open that back up. And then we're going to glue that right on to our wood piece. And then I took a piece of floral wire, and I'm going to just curl it. Floral wire is really bendable, and you can find it at the craft store. You also can find it sometimes at Dollar Tree or different things like that. This part I'm going to leave straight to glue it on. My ends I always want to kind of tuck in just so they're not really sharp in case somebody would get poked or anything like that. And then we're just going to finish curling that any way that we think a vine should go. And then we're going to head and glue that on. And we're going to cover those up with our leaves. And our leaves I made out of, my mind has not quite been where it should be lately. I apologize for my videos. Is made out of burlap. And I used a ribbon, and I had the ribbon and I had the pieces, and one of the reasons I liked the ribbon was it was a little bit more stiff than a regular burlap. They're also even selling it by the yard in the material department. But what I did is I did it lengthwise because I could get it longer, and we made our leaf shape from end to end. Okay. And then I came back in from the top and I cut in just a tad, one slice there and one slice there, and then do the other side just to make it look more like a pumpkin leaf. And then I'm going to come in with my leaf green color. Grab my plate here. And I am using leaf green, more of a yellow green color. And we're going to wash it down a little bit. It means we're going to add a little bit more water to it. And we're just going to cover our leaf. On both sides. And when you add the water to it, they kind of curl up, which I really like because it makes it look more like a leaf to me. Okay, and then I put it on my dry board to dry. Your dry board, you don't have to worry about it sticking and the air can get underneath. It's something we do have back in stock at Miriam Joy right now. And once that is dry, you can come in and add some veins to it. And I just use my permanent marker. You can use paint with a darker green, like a Christmas green. And I wanted to go right to where those tips were before. And we're simply just going to glue those right on top of our paper twist and cover all of that up. Just make sure they're nice and dry. Okay, and then I came over and I got a stick, and I had some bigger rope, and I just tied the rope on each end, and I used my ribbon again and just lapped it over and tied that right onto that. You also made a hanger so you could hang it or you can use your rope, it doesn't matter, up on top, and took pieces of my rope, and I'm simply making each one longer and shorter, and I'm just looping them through like that and hanging them so that we have our fall sign. This one I made shorter. So this one I want a little bit longer here. I think I'll come down and even maybe do it right about there. So we'll take our rope, a little bit of wiggle room. We're going to glue that on. Probably should have that on high setting. And line it up. Make sure that that's lined up with your lettering so it hangs straight. So while that guy's drying, I'm going to go ahead and do this guy. And we want this one shorter. So we want him probably right about there. Okay, so let's go put this guy back on. And I can see I need to finish those two pumpkins up still. We'll finish them up in just a minute here. And it's nice to have a stick that kind of has some up and downs in it. And you could even glue them into place if you didn't want them to wiggle too much. And we're going to put our last one on here. Okay, and then that would be really cute on your front door, and of course when you put it up there it's all going to hang. I think I want to move this a little bit more so I have a little bit more space in between, and I'm going to go ahead and finish that up, and I'll show you another picture when I get it all the way done as well so you can see the completely finished product as well. Okay, we finished our fall pumpkin sign. We've got that all nice and finished. I did change the length of my two pumpkins, made them a little bit longer. Wouldn't that look great on your door or on a wall for a fall decoration? If you need any of the products that we use today, any of the wax design products or the lacquer, jump on over to miriamjoy.com. And during the holidays this year, we've got a great giveaway going on, so make sure you check it out at Miriam Joy Gourd Creations on Facebook. Thank you, and God bless.